everybody, to Pittman and Friends podcast, and I'm here with a friend. I'm here with a guy that you may have heard about. His name is Comacell Brown. Some people call him Spitfire.
Yep.
We'll find out why. I never did ask why they call you Spitfire. But local artist, muralist, works with Tunnel Vision, Chase Your Dreams initiative, and got a story to tell. Welcome.
I'm blessed and thankful to be here, sir. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. I don't remember the first time we met. Do you remember when we first met?
I don't know the exact year, but I would assume it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe even before that, because I want to say I met you as soon as we started doing work in the Mead Village community, and we've been doing work there for about 6 or 7 years. So
that might have been it. So yeah, Tunnel Vision, Chase Your Dreams initiative. Yeah, you were doing work there, and then you came to us and you said you'd like to get some contracts with Rec and Parks for some basketball courts. And so Mead Village, I think, was the first one, right?
Oh, yes, it was. And it started off as a dream with Kyle seeing a vision for the basketball league.
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Kyle Williams, right around the time when COVID was kind of hitting us hard. He had this bright idea to start a summer league there, even though we were masked up and wasn't sure if we would be allowed to, but reaching out to you for your approval and things started to clear up a bit. It kind of just all worked out in perfect timing.
Right. So Mead Village is public housing, has been redeveloped. All the units have been fixed up in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Boys and Girls Club there. And then there's basketball court that wasn't in great shape.
Yeah.
So got that done.
Yeah, and it's been great for the community. That part we didn't know if we would be able to do or if it was feasible, but with you guys' help and a couple other partners and sponsors, we were able to get the funds together and make it a community initiative project. And it was cool, like I told you when we did the unveiling, how I was able to connect with some of the youngsters there. And at first they were labeled troublemakers, and then finding out through hard work that really wasn't what it was. They just needed something to keep them active and show them a real role model.
So you had them out there with rollers and paintbrushes?
Rollers, paintbrushes, trash bags. So even if they couldn't paint, they could help out cleaning up in some type of way. Yeah.
I don't know how you get volunteers doing that and making it look so good. So anybody who's been by the Arundel Center lately has noticed that the little parking lot right next to the building, it's a 4-story building. We used to call it the Great White Wall because it was this big blank wall. And I do remember the previous county executive, Steve Shue, had wanted to get that done. And I actually talked to him about it later, and he said, yeah, we tried, which is, I think they weren't willing to pay any artists. Maybe that was part of the problem, and they wanted it done for free. But yeah, so our Arts Council put out a request for proposals from muralists for painting that huge wall, and you responded.
Yeah, and for the people that didn't know, they had a couple people in mind, but it came down to the final two, which was me and Cindy Fletcher Holden, and somebody came up with the bright idea to put us together, which was an awesome idea because I learned so much from Cindy on that project about her process and the different paints that she used. So I kind of took a back seat in the painting process and learned a lot from her, and but the design was a collaboration, and it was executed fairly well. So it was a cool project. It took us 6 weeks, as you know, battling through the sun, the rain.
We rented a lift, right? Because it was such a tall. And the two of you were up there day after day after day in the heat with a little umbrella above you. Yeah. Each of you painting. It was amazing.
Yeah, and nobody knew that we had so many issues with the parking lot because it's not flat. It's kind of tilted. So the leveler, the lift there has a leveler on it. So when it's tilted, it doesn't really want to act right. So we had to find like the perfect spot and then leave it there for mainly the duration of the project to make sure we wouldn't have any stalls. But it worked out, man.
Yeah,
it's
and
always
it's beautiful.
Challenges.
And I'll tell you, when I'm years from now, and I'm walking around Annapolis with my grandkids, hopefully, I can point to that, and they're going to go. That it's a cool, really cool mural. Yeah. Tell us about the app where you scan the thing and what happens when you put it in your phone.
Yeah, so with going back to the RFP, when you guys put it out there, I did see that you guys wanted something interactive. So I started to use my creative brain, and I had seen many other murals, not necessarily in this county or the state, but on the West Coast where they had been implementing augmented reality into their artwork. So I started to do a little bit of research to see if we could do it with this one, and it worked out. So I partnered with Maurice Taylor, who's a videographer here from Annapolis. He's done projects with Beyonce and Jay-Z. And then I reached out to someone online who's actually in the UK who did the augmented reality part. So it took some leadership and communication with these two, but it was a great collaboration. And now if you come up to the Arundel Center, there's a sign where you can scan the QR code with your phone. And once you accept the prompt, you can face your phone towards the wall and you'll start to see the different elements move. You'll hear the sounds of Anne Arundel County, like birds chirping, and you'll actually see the Blue Angels fly.
I didn't notice the sound. Maybe okay.
Yeah, so it's all parts to it to really give you an immersive feel.
Casts for the fish.
I was going to ask you. You talked about your grandkids, so you got to show them that picture when you were hula hooping at the unveiling.
Yeah. When we did the launch of it.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Somebody somehow, I think Janice Hayes William threw a hula hoop around me, and I kept it up off the ground for a few seconds.
Yeah, it was a cool picture for real.
Yeah, that was a good time. So you've done a lot of murals around the county, and I guess let me go back to how you got into it.
Okay, so I've been doing artwork since I was a little kid. The different forms of art that I've done has kind of evolved over time. If you grew up with me, a lot of people would tell you they knew me from doing custom T-shirts. And that started as early as middle school, where I was just playing around with paint. I was in the Salvation Army after school.
And you grew up here in Annapolis,
right?
Yeah,
I was in the Salvation Army after school program. And every day they had either a school athletic thing for us to do or something artistic. And I remember them bringing in a whole bunch of army green T-shirts and giving us paint scribble bottles and was like, just have at it. And I made something really cool that I came in first place for, and I just constantly kept making painted T-shirts, and that followed me all the way until 12th grade in high school, going into college, where I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I got my graphic design degree. So we went from painting T-shirts to graphic design of flyers and CD covers, and then it just evolved into murals over time through the death of my best friend, Trey the Kid. He was killed here in Annapolis, and one of the first things that I wanted to do in his memory was get a mural painted. So I reached out to Jeff Huntington, asked him could he, do the tribute. He accepted, and he heard that I did artwork as well, and he invited me on the project. So just me being able to
So that was your first one?
Yeah, that was the first one through that.
Okay.
And it just put this spark in me to keep going. Jeff invited me back again a few months later to do the Breonna Taylor mural and the George Floyd mural.
Right.
And once CNN and all of these news outlets picked that up, I mean, my artist career pretty much took off from there.
Wow. And you've been outside of this area too, right? You've traveled?
Yes. Recently, last summer, did a mural in Chicago. That was our first basketball court that far out of Maryland. But I've done some stuff in Virginia, Washington Commanders Stadium, and the rest have been...
You've done a bunch of the Washington Commanders, haven't you?
Yeah, we got 4 or 5 murals in there. Hopefully, they'll keep them there when they decide to move to this new stadium or get us to come in and do something.
Or they'll have to pay you all over again,
right?
Hey,
whatever works. But the fans truly love that mural and the players, so I hope that they do something good with it.
So, like we said, some people call you Spitfire. Why is that?
So, I used to be a rap artist back in high school, I want to say around 9th grade, and I was telling you about my friend Trey the Kid. So, his dad was a DJ, and he had all of the equipment in his house. So, one day I'm at Trey's house, and they're rapping. They just put on a beat and started freestyling. I had never rapped ever. So I tried to rap. I wasn't good, but eventually through, trial and error and doing it over and over, I got really good. And that was my rap name, Cell Spitfire. So after I kind of retired from music, I just kept the name, and I'm like, now I spitfire on walls when I do my artwork. So that's how I got the name Spitfire.
That makes sense. Do you ever rap anymore?
No, not at all.
You're welcome to perform if you like right now.
I've totally given it up, man. I love doing it at the time when I did, but now I love listening. I'm a big fan of music. I love being behind the scenes, still doing graphics for other artists, but I've totally given that up.
All right, another side. And then your work with Tunnel Vision, how is that? You've got your own business where you do murals and you do art and you do design, and then how to Chase Your Dreams Initiative, I guess, is a nonprofit. Tunnel Vision is a for-profit company that does sports apparel, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your role in all of that?
So I'm the creative director there. A lot of the work that I do there is assisting and leading on designing a lot of the uniforms for youth league teams all the way up to collegiate and professional. As of late, we've got a huge market in doing marching band sweatsuits. So we've done all the way from Morgan State to I mean, all types of bands. I can't even think because they're just getting shot at me every day. But so I'm just pretty much creating the designs and layouts for a lot of those sporting teams. We're setting up stores for some of those schools so their parents and staff could purchase items from us. And that's pretty much it, just pretty much knocking out a lot of apparel. And also we have our retail apparel too. So you can find some tunnel vision apparel that we sell at the tunnel vision games. And we also have a box and mortar store online.
Well, Kyle Williams has been an inspiration to me, too. He's figured out how to merge his business with a cause and how to engage young people in the business side of things. And I'm looking forward to seeing that grow.
Yeah, and I would credit Leadership Anne Arundel for that, too. Leadership,
really?
They had a huge push in us really being able to structure everything from the nonprofit side because we always had a want and a need to help fix the community. I think that being in Leadership Anne Arundel really helped us connect with the right resources and show us the right way to do things. So we've definitely had a huge road to success since joining Leadership Anne Arundel.
So Kyle and the whole team, y'all have a team, and put together Youth Gun Violence Weekend last year. And I got involved because I felt like it was so important. It took place at the Severn Center, the new Severn Center in the gymnasium there. And that was when I first met your wife. And she was there with an organization called the Treehouse Project.
Yeah.
So tell us what that is.
So Treehouse Project.
What her name? Shalise. Right.
Shalise,
okay.
From Shalise Williams to now Shalise Brown. She is the founder of the Treehouse Project, which was based out of Baltimore, out of the 21217 zip code. And her work pretty much focuses around young women. She's trying to help mainly at-risk youth and, giving them a platform to be able to express themselves. She does a lot of workshops with youth. And she's a grant writer, so she's helped to get a lot of grants written and, just helped to fund a lot of the projects that they do in Baltimore. But as of late, she's been in Anne Arundel County with me. She's worked with Annapolis All-Stars. She's working currently with Annapolis High School and making her rounds just to do a lot of good in the community.
All right. So she's new to Anne Arundel.
Yes, fairly new. Yep.
And you went to Annapolis High School?
Yep, graduated in 2004.
2004?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Seems like a long time ago.
Yeah. So do you teach art? Do you teach some of the young people? I mean, you're obviously teaching it when you're doing a mural. But.
Yeah. Outside of that, I do workshops myself. I recently did one with Annapolis High School to close out last school year. I work with some of the young ladies there. We did a resin project. And resin, for people that don't know, is a 2-part liquid that you mix together and you can add color and you can make stuff like ashtrays, incense holders, cup holders, all different types of cool things you can kind of put together. So we'll mix those type of art projects with different mental health aspects to kind of get the kids open to be able to talk and express themselves and also express themselves through the artwork as well. So
I remember when I first got elected county executive, the subject of public art came up, and I hadn't really thought a lot about it. I have some family from Argentina, and I remember them talking early on about how in Argentina and other Latin American countries, public art is a much bigger thing, and the government actually pays for a lot of the public art. It's a public purpose to have art in there, especially in their cities. And so I started to warm up to the idea as we went along. And during COVID in particular, we did have some federal money that we were able to help with artists who couldn't make a living during COVID, performers as well. So I started to think about the value of public art. And then the mural on the side of the building in particular really made me think about that. But when you're creating something and you know it's going to be there for a really long time and people are going to walk by and see it, do you think about what it is that you're trying to get them to think about and what impact it's going to have on the community?
Yeah, it really takes a lot of community assistance. I don't like to come into a project and be bullish and try to just do what I want to do. I'll do jam session in most cases where we'll bring out residents from the community and some of the stakeholders, and we'll talk about what they envision. And I'll kind of just take all of these ideas and I'll put them down, and then I'll start to map out and brainstorm my designs, and then I'll present the designs back to the community to vote on. I felt like that's just a lot easier process.
Easier?
Yeah, a lot easier because, I mean, it can be a bit hard getting so many, people throwing in opinions, but once you weed out some of the similarities and kind of just do what makes sense, once you put the artwork out after that, you get less people complaining to say that they didn't have any feedback in it. So it just always works out better that way.
Sounds kind of like governing, huh, James? James Kitchen is in here. He's doing the tech side of it right now. And we've had a lot of these conversations. But about how important it is when if you have a piece of legislation and you're trying to get it right or program a project that you want to implement, that if you don't go to the community and ask for their vision about what they'd like to see, you often have opposition, you have conflict, and you might end up with that anyway, but it's better to get it on the front end.
Yeah.
And then people really buy in. That's interesting. I never thought. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what Travis Pastrana did when he wanted to do Nitro Circus here. And at first he got a lot of pushback, but then once he went door to door knocking, that's when everybody kind of accepted. It's like sometimes you have to really get in someone's face to show them the vision so they can see it and see your intentions and see your face and how much you're passionate about it.
Yeah. So you must think about projects you'd like to do.
All the time.
Like what?
Right now, if we're talking local, I've been looking at downtown Annapolis basketball court. I know that they were doing a lot of renovations on the park in general, but that was a court that I just always ended up on at some point when I was young. Whenever I'd be downtown and we look for something to do. And then now, when I end up downtown, I'll glance over there and I just see broken up rocks, and it hasn't been together in a while. So that's a project that I would love to take the hold and lead on, because it's right downtown Annapolis and everything else is getting built up. Why not do the court, Yeah. And there was another tennis court over there in Annapolis Walk that I think would be good if it was painted. It's in a fairly dominant Hispanic community now, and I don't see many artwork that's dedicated to that community. They have a stronghold here, and I would love to do something to support that community as well.
So a tennis court, huh?
Yeah.
And have it stay a tennis court, but painted?
They've been using it as a multi-use court. It started out as a strictly tennis court, but I've seen that they've taken a basketball court over there. I've seen Hispanics playing soccer on the court. I've seen baby showers on the court.
Oh, yeah.
So they do a little bit of everything in that community. So I think it would just be multi-use.
Yeah. Everything but tennis, maybe.
Right. Yep. I honestly have never seen anybody play tennis there.
Yeah. Sometimes we gotta adapt to the community. Yeah, it is amazing how when you walk onto a beautifully painted court with all the colors and all the images, it's it just makes you feel different, makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like somebody cares what things are like.
And when you have the whole community helping out, it just creates this good energy that stays there even when I leave. You'll see community members that maybe have lived next door to each other for years and never spoken, and then we get out on an art project and you all are assisting and helping each other paint a straight line, and now you're talking every day. So I like those type of impacts of what my art can do as well.
Yeah. Have you been to other countries where they have a lot of murals?
No, I'm really interested because I when I'm researching and looking at different artwork, typically overseas murals is what pops up and gives me and feeds me the inspiration that I need.
Yeah, I haven't tried. I think Latin American countries and in particular, which I haven't been to, but that's what I see on the pictures too. Well, how about outside of just the artwork? Say you were county executive or, in a position to, or somebody with a lot of money to invest in improving the community. What do you think? What do you think's lacking?
I think we just need more venues or platforms for people to express themselves, not even just through art. I mean, performance is a form of art, but giving a platform to people to perform, to do different events. It seems like some of the places that we were able to use for spaces are starting to become limited. So just having a place to be a multi-use facility for arts and entertainment will be great.
What do you think of the plans for City Dock?
Oh, I think that's great. I think it's long overdue. And just how we talked about improving things, City Dock has kind of been the same for its layout for so long, and we've had to adapt when it comes to weather and flooding. I feel like we can adapt with rearranging the space for entertainment and for people to use as a leisure spot. So I think it's great. I'm open to seeing something new down there.
Yeah. Having a parking lot in the very best spot.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
4th of July, I'm always downtown, and it gets crammed up, and I think this will just have a way better layout for everybody.
Yeah. I feel like public space and the way urban centers are designed really matters. And that's another thing where I gotten to go to some European countries where, even cities in this country, where they've created really great public spaces downtown, and people congregate and community and diverse community where you got the rich folk and the poor folk and the old folk and the young folk and everything in between, and it just creates a feeling that's different.
I agree.
And I remember here when I early on from people in this county. We went around and did 16 meetings, town halls, as we were running for office in the 16 small areas of Anne Arundel County. And I remember hearing one person in particular said, I moved here from somewhere, I can't remember where, and there's no community space. There's nowhere to meet people. There's nowhere, the sort of suburban model where you've got, you got a shopping center, and then you've got streets with houses on them, and then you've got, you do have parks, but that's ball fields, and just not a lot of places where people congregate. So I think modern design is improving, getting more and more in that. Up in Glen Burnie Town Center, they're doing some things to enliven that, But man, when you don't have that, you don't have that space. You don't have community. So.
That's actually one of the next places on my work list is Glen Burnie. I was just telling James before we started about the project there and how it got delayed because of contract and the wall wasn't ready. But they just finished that up today. So as early as next week, I'm going to be started on a project in Glen Burnie to help with the revitalization of Glen Burnie. And I also designed some of the traffic boxes, 2 of them in that area as well. And you could just see all of the small hands and people that put in to help. It's already starting to look good. So that's just a great example.
Yeah, a lot more to do. Well, cool. We usually talk to government people in this podcast or some of the nonprofit leaders who are doing things, and elected officials, both so government inside and elected and otherwise. But we haven't talked to a lot of people who really have kind of made a career out of art. And the fact that you came up through Annapolis High School and sort of did it as a kid, pretty inspiring.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's been great. It's been a wild ride. One thing that has been special about my life is the type of people that I've been around in Annapolis, mainly older folks that did a lot here, from the Zastro Sims to the Carl Snowdens, Janice Hayes Williams. Like, those are really people who were either friends with my grandparents or had some type of association with my family. And being that I didn't have both of my parents growing up, I was raised by my grandparents, I was always just around a lot of their friends and leaders, and I really picked up on a lot of old traditions and just ways that Annapolis was built in the black community. And I just, tried to take some of those positive things and put it in my career and some of the ways that I give back to the community.
It is pretty amazing that the black community of Annapolis is, and not just Annapolis, but there's other parts of the county too, but especially Annapolis, is multi-generational. People have been here for many generations, and the sense of community is powerful. And actually, folks are organized too. I think the political voice is strong, and the community organizations are strong. It's an organized community, which doesn't mean that all problems get solved, but it is something that I've learned who the leaders are, and there's a lot of them, but and don't always agree on everything, right? But it does strengthen the community, as opposed to a community that is transient people who move in, move out quickly. Yeah.
And it's funny you say that, because I tell my wife all the time, I could be driving down the street and I can see somebody walking and I can tell if they're from Annapolis or not.
By the way they walk?
Yeah. I mean, just when you're from here, you kind of know who everybody is. And if you're, regardless, I'm not talking about like midshipmen, like you can kind of tell those type of people are tourists, but I'm talking about the people that live in the communities, and you can just kind of get a sense of it. At least for me, I can just look at a person. I'm like, they don't look like they're from here. Like Annapolis people just look a little bit more comfortable, and I can't really explain it, but I can always tell. We just have a different vibe about us.
Comfortable in their own communities. Yeah. And you're an artist, so you notice everything. Well, keep it up.
Thank you.
And keep building community. And for everybody out there who's listening and thinking about, ways to strengthen the place that they live, don't forget about art, performance art, visual art, all the different kinds of art, because the music scene is a big part of it. Yeah. It really is what creates community, and that does a lot.
Yeah, so. And if I could give a message to any parents out there, if you have young children or young relatives that you see doing artwork, I would say just encourage and pour into them and give them good messages to keep going, because when I was growing up, because I was raised by my grandparents, I don't think that they really understood how vast artwork could extend and for a career, because they always just, not that they doubted me with my artwork, but they just didn't understand. It was really hard for them to push and encourage it because they didn't know how. And me becoming successful was kind of really a surprise, but I just felt like if I had a lot more support growing up and push, I could have did it a lot faster. So I just always encourage parents to pour into your child if you see them drawing. if they're one of them ones that are getting in trouble in school because they're always drawing, it might be bad that they're not doing their work, but trust me, there's a silver lining in that artwork that they're doing. Just continue to encourage artists and continue to support and buy art from local artists. Yeah.
All right. Follow the passion.
Yep.
All right. Do me a favor and tell our listeners how they can subscribe and all that stuff.
So you are now listening to the Pittman and Friends podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button, share with a friend, and join us for the next episode.
Amen.